How often have you been told to keep your hands up from your corner or your coach? Yet, whether you train 1 year or 10 years or 10 weeks, you still hear the same lines over and over and over. I hear it a lot, but I don't hear the details on how to keep your hands up. Yeah, I get it, simple. Keep your hands up, but you're not always gonna do that. You're gonna be striking and you're gonna be hitting too as well. So how do we address and how do we keep our hands up more effectively? My name is Ron Skolsding, and today we'll be covering the details, diving deep into how to keep your hands up. When keeping your hands up, you've got 3 stages that you want to focus on. One is before you hit, one is while you hit, and the 3rd stage is after you hit, when you're done. One of the biggest common problems of each stage is one, before you hit, your hands are already down, right? So I don't want that. Number 2 is I don't want my hands down when I strike. And number 3, I don't want my hands down after I'm done hitting. So we need to address all 3 stages. And so firstly, right off of the bat, make sure we address those 3 areas before we dig deep. Area number 1, make sure we have our hands up before we strike. Area number 2, make sure that we keep our hands up while we strike. And number 3 is make sure that we keep our hands up after we strike. And how the heck do we do that? There are a few things that I like to focus on when keeping my hands up. Now keep in mind, guys, that the beauty of sports, the beauty of competition is human error. No matter how much you practice, no matter how long you do it for, no matter how good you are, you're not going to keep your hands up forever. That's the beauty of being human. So don't beat yourself up if you do drop your hands. But what we can strive for is, instead of being disappointed of not being perfect, let's strive to get closer to perfection. And so if we have that lifelong chase of getting closer to perfection, it's going to be much more effective and it's going to be much less disappointing, because we're never going to be perfect. Robots make mistakes too. You look at the best fighters in the world, Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather, Conor McGregor, all these guys, they don't keep their hands up all the time. In fact, they lift their chins too as well. And so don't beat yourself up. The beauty of being human are the human mistakes. But the cool part is, how close can you get to perfection? How little mistake can you make? And that's what makes competition very, very interesting. And so the first concept I like to cover today is, when keeping your hands up, especially while I'm striking, is to have one hand, one shoulder touch my face. The most vulnerable area to get hit in the face is this jaw. The jaw moves, shakes the brain hits the cranium, and you either lose your equilibrium, go unconscious, or become concussed. And so I want to cover that thing. And obviously, if I'm punching and my hand leaves my face, it's no longer covering that face. So I need to cover something else. So I'm going to cover it with the shoulder. So as I fire that jab, notice I'm going to rotate so much that I'm going to have one hand, one shoulder touch my face. And this is going to apply to all strikes that you throw, from punches to elbows to knees to kicks. Anything involving striking, this is going to help keep your hands up. There's multiple benefits to this, as far as making your punches longer, giving you defense too as well. But today's focus is just to make sure that we keep our hands up. We'll talk about the other stuff in another video. So even when I fire a jab as an orthodox, one hand, one shoulder, I rotate so much that I have one hand, one shoulder touch my face. If I fire it across, same thing. One hand, one shoulder. Fire hook, same thing. Uppercut, same thing. Elbow, same thing. Even when I fire a knee, one hand, one shoulder touch my face. Even when I kick, one hand, one shoulder touching my face. And so as long as you have what I call the hand and shoulder concept, you should be able to have your hands up relatively well. Now, the second concept I want to hit is the return. The biggest common thing I see when people are firing strikes is they drop their hands after they're done striking. And so when you're done striking, I want to make sure that you pull both hands back to your face. It's fast, if not faster than you let it out. So I fire my jab out fast, I pull my hand back just as fast or even faster. The last thing I want to do is fire a jab and just drop that, right? And so the second concept is the return. I call it the return concept. No matter what combo you throw, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, I'm gonna pull both hands back. Too often we just relax, and that's how we get cracked. But if you just pull it back, you reduce the likelihood of them landing a counter shot on you. And then the third and final concept is the pre-attack. The pre-attack concept is making sure that my hands touch my face before I strike. Yes, there's different types of stances that you can have for fighting, right? But if you're just starting out or you want to protect your brain a lot, a very conservative, tight style, high and tight styles, just have your hands touching your face anywhere between your jaw and your temple. So I have my hands here, and as I hit, I'm back. Notice I have one hand, one shoulder, touch my face, and I pull it back. And so the pre-attack is making sure my hands touch my face as I strike. So my hands come here, is the pre-attack. Once I'm ready to attack, I have the hand-shoulder concept. One hand, one shoulder. When I'm done attacking, then I have my post-attack, the return concept, pulling both hands back. Cool? So one more time, nice and slow. We have the pre-attack, which is making sure I keep my hands up and I move, right? Multiple benefits, multiple other things that we can cover. The actual attack, the hand-shoulder method, and then the return when I'm done. 3 concepts that are going to be able to help you keep your hands up and make sure you hit more and you get hit less. Let's see it semi-live. And so pay attention as I shadow box and notice how I'm implementing all 3 concepts through the shadow box. Semi-live. Here we go. And that's what it's going to look like when you're shadowboxing, hitting a bag, sparring. It applies to everything combat sports related. Digging deep on how to keep your hands up. We have the pre-attack, making sure we glue our hands to our face. We have the during attack, the present attack, the hand-shoulder method. One hand, one shoulder touching your face. And then finally, the post-attack, which is the return concept, is bringing those hands right back to your face just as fast or faster than you throw it, guys. So that's our mini deep dive into how to keep your hands up. So it's more than just saying, keep your hands up, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. This is the detailed video on how exactly you do that and do that better. So next time someone tells you to keep your hands up, keep these 3 concepts in mind. Thanks, guys. Good luck, happy training. See you guys next time. Oh yeah.